Well, good morning and welcome into your Friday 5 for 5. I am Adam and I have the privilege of serving here as the worship pastor at First Baptist Church of the Islands. I really hope that you've been able to watch all of the other pastors' videos this week as we've been talking about the importance of prayer. You've heard it more than once this week that prayer is communication. And moreover, it's communicating with our Heavenly Father. I remember growing up hearing stories about my uncle who served as a communications officer for the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War. He knew the importance of communication, especially during wartime. And thinking about that and prayer makes me think of a very interesting quote that I heard from John Piper, where he calls prayer a wartime walkie-talkie for the church. Here's what John Piper said. He said, "Life is war." But that's not all it is, but it's always that. Our weakness in prayer is owing largely to our neglect of this truth. Prayer is primarily a wartime walkie-talkie for the mission of the church as it advances against the powers of darkness and unbelief. It's not surprising that prayer malfunctions when we try to make it a domestic intercom to call upstairs for more comforts in the den. God has given us a prayer time as a wartime walkie-talkie so that we can call headquarters for everything we need as the kingdom of Christ advances in the world. Prayer gives us the significance of frontline forces and gives God the glory of a limitless provider. The one who gives the power gets the glory. Thus, prayer safeguards the supremacy of God in missions while linking us with endless grace for every need. Wow, what an amazing take on prayer that is. We read in Paul's letter to the church in Ephesus that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Ephesians 6:12. Any time spent looking at your social media feed, at the news, or maybe even your email or snail mail reminds you that this verse is still as true today as it was during the first century when Paul wrote it. Do you realize the significance that your prayers can make? Are you aware of the power of your prayers? We can't fight this battle alone, and that's why I am so thankful that I and you have a walkie-talkie with a direct connection to headquarters. I hope that you have seen this week that prayer is so much more than an intercom call upstairs, but it's our lifeline in this battle of life. Use your walkie-talkie and make a call to headquarters. As Pastor Brooks reminded us this past Sunday, God can use us in spite of our perceived faults and our inadequacies. We are an army of everyday missionaries, and prayer gives us the significance of frontline forces and gives God the glory of a limitless provider. Let's roll. This coming Sunday, we're going to be observing communion or the Lord's Supper in both of our morning services. And if you're worshiping from home this week, please go ahead and prepare to take communion with us. We cannot wait to see you this coming Sunday at 9 or 10:30. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.